I have a friend from high school whose mother gifted me a curry plant. She has a huge one in her yard, and they just send up shoots. And so he just showed up at my house one day with like the roots and everything of this like little plant, and I keep it in my house. And I really only have one recipe that I use it for, which I have done here, and I struggle with it even now. At any rate, but I saw this the other day, and it's supposed to be a chicken salad. I'm about to do it with shrimp because that's what I got. Um, with Napa cabbage and all that, but it requires you to like brown, kind of bloom the flavors from um, the leaves. And when I cut them off, I could smell them, and it smells so good. And I'm so excited. So I'm hoping that this goes well. So I've got the oil on the stove warming. I'm gonna drop one in a couple minutes to see if it's the right temperature. And if it is, then I'm gonna go from there and see if we can get it going. It's gonna go really fast, like 45 seconds. And then I'll put it over for it to cool and go ahead and prepare the rest of the salad and figure out what I'm gonna eat it with. Okay, they tell you to put the lid on for a reason, because once you stick the leaves in there, it does pop. So I'm glad I had the lid handy, and I got like 15 more seconds. And then I'm just gonna take it all off. I'll check them to make sure they're not burnt. They should be translucent and kind of clear apparently, and then we'll see. So I'll show you what that looks like, and we'll see if I'm nursing this. Shouldn't be too bad for too long. So these, I think I did the leaves perfectly. So they're crunchy and translucent like they were supposed to be, but not black and burnt. I went ahead and mixed that in with scallions, the Napa cabbage, red pepper. And I started putting together the dressing. So this is, I was supposed to have apple cider vinegar, didn't have that. So I used some white wine vinegar, which isn't quite as sweet. So I need to compensate for that in some way. And what? It's supposed to be whole grain Dijon mustard. I just had Dijon mustard, which was actually amazing that I had that to begin with because I don't really eat mustard. And the oil that was cooked in there, garlic and honey. So there was some sweetness in there, definitely from the honey. So that's been emulsified. I'm about to dress this, and instead of using the what's that stuff called that I was just talking about, shrimp. One of the vegetarian options that's in the recipe is to use like beans or lentils or eggplant, and I of course have chickpeas in the freezer. So and chickpeas are, you know, chana is South Asian in nature, and this has a South Asian hilt to it with curry leaves. So I'm going to put that in there instead. There's supposed to be like dried fruit, like cherries or whatever. All I have is dried apricots, which in some ways feels a little strange. But I think I'm gonna go ahead and put them in there and see what happens. I also am supposed to do pumpkin seeds. I don't think of pumpkin seeds, but I am thinking about something that will be crunchy on the other side. So maybe I have some cashews in there. So maybe I'll toast some cashews. We'll see. We'll play with it. So clearly should have read the recipe a little more thoroughly, but I'm gonna kind of do what I normally do. So I went ahead and put in the dried apricots, because the truth is, even if I had read, like, I knew that this had called for dried cherries, I just wasn't going to buy dried cherries because I don't eat dried cherries and I don't have any other recipes for dried cherries, so I wasn't going to do that. I did go ahead and roast cashews. Ooh, let's see. Yeah, there we go. Cashews. So I will put that on the top. I'm going to dress it. I went ahead and added the red pepper flakes and the black pepper. And then, of course, the final piece, I'm like trying to drain some of the moisture off of these, having thawed the chickpeas. And then I'll put the whole thing together. I had planned to make like mac and cheese or something, which I realize is kind of a weird connection. But I was going to do that because I just wanted something else to go with this. But I'm tired now and I don't want to. So I'm going to eat the salad and see how I feel after I eat the salad, and if there's something else I want to make afterwards, then I will go pillaging through my pantry and see what's up. It's been a weird day. It's very wet, and you think it would be cold. It is not, but it is wet and gray, so hopefully this is delicious, or at least edible. Voila, so this is finished. I topped it with some cashews, and we're gonna taste, because again, deviated from script. The curry is very light. It's like overwhelmed by the mustard, which was kind of why the mustard surprised me, even though it was clearly written in there. So it's kind of like an afternote. The curry is an afternote, which is pleasant, but I would kind of like it a little more forward facing. And I'm wondering if there's a way to make this dressing without the mustard, but that still gives you the bite. Maybe mustard seeds. I'll have to play with that a little bit. I didn't really taste my. I probably should have had more, but I'm saving. I didn't really put enough of the apricots in here, in part because I'm saving. I bought dill, so I'm gonna do my favorite go-to recipe, and so I need at least 8 left over. But they're not. It's not a bad nachos. It gives you a hint of sweetness. It's really pleasant. I would like to do this with pumpkin seeds, and I do eat pumpkin seeds, so I may add that to my list of stuff to have in the house. And the final thing is, like, technically this is like done with chicken, so you can do it with leftover chicken, whatever kind of chicken you have. And I could actually see that being really nice. The chickpeas are fine, definitely gives you your protein. But I could see how this would lend itself to chicken really, really in a satisfying way. So I would be interested next time I make chicken, which I don't do a whole lot, but next time I have chicken, maybe next time I go to Said Ladon's and I come back with leftover chicken, I'll go ahead and have it then. At any rate, this is delightful. I hope you're having something delightful too.